Hey everybody, it's Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is about the breaking news story about the coronavirus. We've been hearing about this in the news lately. It's starting to become more and more prevalent in our television coverage, newspaper coverage. And the question I have, and the question other people have, is will this affect cruisers and cruise ship itineraries? Stand by for that. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, Traveling with Bruce. I really appreciate your support. Thank you for giving my videos thumbs ups, and I really welcome all your comments. Join us for our group cruise, December the 6th, 2020, 320 odd days from now. All the details are down below if you'd like to become part of the group cruise and join a bunch of my viewers who are already coming on this thing. Also, if you would like to become a sponsor member of TWB, please consider joining that elite group. You can join me every Monday night for an exclusive private show, 7 to 8 o'clock Eastern Time, every Monday night, just for sponsor members. The details about becoming a sponsor member are also just down below. All right, well, let's get to this story about the coronavirus. Apparently, it was detected a few weeks ago in a city known as Wuhan, China. It's inland, 100-150 miles from the coast, so it's not a coastal city, but they identified the first cases of this new virus, a new strain of virus, from that area. That city has taken extraordinary measures to educate their population, to try to mitigate and minimize the infection rate. Unfortunately, the reality is that China is extremely well interconnected now. If you live in China, you know this. If you've been to China lately, you know this as well. High-speed rail is growing unbelievably in China. Air service is a common thing now in China between Chinese cities. 30 years ago it was rare to be able to take a jet anywhere within China. You had to take steam locomotives. Today, you can get all over China very quickly in modern infrastructure type transportation. And that is the problem with this virus. The virus has now spread to other cities within China. The latest reports I've heard as of today, which is January the 22nd, 2020, I've heard up to 20 deaths so far reported, but I know I'm early with this number. 1,000+ cases, that I think is way underestimating the reality of it. I think there's far more than that. We've heard also that cases of the virus have now been identified in South Korea, in Japan, I believe in Taiwan, and it wouldn't surprise me if other Asian countries have already got cases of this disease, this virus. The World Health Organization is now contemplating whether to consider declaring a state of emergency, which would really put all kinds of protocols into effect. I know that airports in the United States and Canada and now Europe are instigating protocols to screen for passengers who might have this virus. Don't know how effective these are going to be, but they're working on it. The question for me and my viewers who love cruise ships, like the Harmony of the Seas here, the question is, will cruises be affected possibly by the coronavirus? I'm going to say yes and no, but the way it's going to affect it is perception is reality. A lot of travelers may decide not to go at the last minute to Hong Kong or to Beijing or Shanghai to start a cruise from a home port in those ports, simply because they're worried about maybe catching the virus when they get there. A number of cruises in Asia start in Shanghai, end in Shanghai. Some start in Hong Kong, end in Hong Kong, and so on. But a number of cruises are also one-way cruises. Not uncommon to be able to take an Asian cruise from Shanghai to Tokyo, or from Tokyo to Singapore, with stops in Shanghai and stops in Hong Kong. There's all kinds of 5-day itineraries, 7-day, 10-day, 14-day, and more. There's a huge mix of available cruises to be taken in that region. So it's unlikely that a cruise ship will not have someone have the virus. The statistics are just such that with upwards of, I think, 15 different cruise ships in that area over the next, say, 3 months, there's a bunch who ply the waters there all the time, and there are a number of ships that sort of come in and out from Australia in and then back to Australia, or other ships that are going through world cruises and they're doing segments of their itinerary in the Asia area. We're talking 15 or more passenger cruise ships, and if you take an average of say 2,500 to 3,000 passengers per ship, we're talking about 45,000 people a day on cruise ships. And you know, there's boarding and onboarding, or embarkation and de-embarkation. So you've got the turnover factor, and over the next 3 months, we're talking hundreds of thousands, 500,000 maybe, passengers that may or may not be on cruise ships in and around and or through the Asia area. And there is no guarantee that this will not spread to India, that this will not spread to the Middle East, that it will not spread to Australia proper, New Zealand. It's likely it will. And that means no matter where a cruise ship is, this virus could be available. But then again, having just said that, the virus could be at the LAX airport right now, or at San Francisco International, or Seattle, or Vancouver in Canada, Calgary, Toronto, Montreal, New York. All of these major airports in North America and all the major airports in Europe are already expecting cases of this virus to show. And these folks are either coming to or going from a cruise or a holiday in a hotel scenario. And again, if you're on a cruise ship, even in Rome, and you're getting a day's outing in Rome, and you go to the Colosseum with a group, there are 3,000 other people at the Colosseum when you get there as well. Some of those folks could just be on a European holiday, staying at various hotels and resorts, and they're exposed to the virus, and now you're exposed to them, and they to you, and the virus spreads. The virus doesn't care whether you're on a cruise ship, in a hotel, whether you're flying an airplane or riding a bike. It's going to infect other people. So can this become a worldwide issue? Yes. Is it right now an Asia issue? Yes. Is it now just a China issue? No. It is spread out and beyond China, but China is still the epicenter, and we don't know the actual numbers from China because they're just hard to verify. That's the reality of the situation. Very difficult to verify actual numbers from China. There are reports that people who've been trying to tell the world what the reality is of the virus have been censured and have been punished by Chinese authorities to reveal this information. So your guess is as good as mine. Like I said, I think this is going to affect the cruise lines, but how much, I don't know. What I can tell you, if you want a deal on a cruise, just a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about real deals on cruise ships that were plying the Mideast waters, the Persian Gulf. Well, now there are real deals on cruises that are visiting Shanghai, visiting Hong Kong, sailing in Asian waters. There are cruises as low as $40 a night a person. There are balconies as low as $60, $65 a night. And this could get even more discounted going forward, because if the cruise lines run into a slew of cancellations within the 90-day window, and also between 90 and 180 days, if all these bunch of people cancel out and will not fly to that region, cruise lines are going to start deep discounting these available cabins, last minute availability. And we'll stay on top of that and let you know just kind of what that comes out at. Anyway, there's an update for you on the coronavirus as we know it right now, January 22nd, 2020, early days in this entire story. Here are the cruise lines that have ships in the area. Genting has 2 ships, the Star Pisces and the World Dream. Costa has 5 ships, the Costa Fortuna, Atlantica, Serena, Venetia, and Romantica. Royal Caribbean has the Spectrum of the Seas, the Quantum of the Seas. Ada has the Bella and the Ada Vita. MSC has the Splendida. Princess has the Diamond Princess, the Sapphire Princess. Norwegian has the Jade, Celebrity, the Millennium. Holland America has the Westerdam. Marella has the Discovery. We're talking about 21 different ships in this region right now. That does not include ships just passing through on world cruises or anything like that. So there are a lot of passengers coming and going from here. Now, to finish up, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. I did the best I could with informing you which ships are in these areas here that might be affected by lower turnout from cruisers. I have no guarantee what the prices are going forward on some of these cruises. They may become incredibly cheap. We'll have to just see how many people cancel out going forward, but we'll stay on top of this coronavirus story as it goes forward. I'm sure I'll have updates every week here for a while, because this thing has not peaked out. We do not know how many people will ultimately be infected with the virus, how many people will be admitted to hospital, how many people might perish from this. But we do know there have been people who've died already, and that there are thousands already infected with it. We'll just stay on top of it as best we can. Hopefully it won't become a major worldwide epidemic, but I have no idea. We just don't know. We'll just stay on top of this as long as we can. And hopefully, if you enjoy it, you find my videos informative, please give them thumbs ups. Let me know your comments. I would love to hear what you hear, and I will try to pass it on to my viewers. Again, thank you for your support of TWB Traveling with Bruce from Creston, British Columbia here in Canada. I really appreciate your support. Thank you for thumbs ups and comments, and I look forward to talking to you next time. This is Bruce with Traveling with Bruce saying stay warm, stay safe, and stay healthy. We'll talk to you next time, everybody. Bye for now.